I don't know, maybe 5 steps to a great interview. Eyes on third, the nose, audio, it's always audio, background, and lighting. That middle finger audio is really appropriate because it really messes with you and we have some issues. Remember, there's 2 parts to any of this wireless mic system. The first part is your microphone part, and you know it's the microphone part because it says mute. So that's really the first thing that you need to know is if you don't get any sound, sometimes the first thing I would check to see if that mute button is over on mute. You want it to be away from mute. So make sure you check that out. The next thing you want to do is make sure that these cables or these things are tightened up really nicely. So when you put the microphone in, that should be wrapped up perfectly like I showed you earlier. It should go into this little top hole here, and it should just go in there, snap in there, and then it should tighten up. The little silver thing should tighten up and make that nice and tight to make sure that doesn't come out. That's one of the issues we've had. We've had to solve a lot of different issues. Not bad ones, it's just silly things like that. Alright? The first thing I would do is always turn on the receiver. The receiver is the one that goes into the camera. And I didn't show you last time, but basically I showed you where the microphone input was. But what I didn't show you is you need to make sure that this cord goes in there nice and tight and snaps in there. So it's looking really tight in there, and make sure it's not sticking up. Then this part here goes attached to the shoe up here, tightens up right there, and that holds it together for you so you don't have to worry about it. So that's how it attaches to the camera. Right away it says mute, and you say, well, wait a second, I thought I unmuted that over here. So don't get fooled. It is unmuted over here, but this is not on yet. So this is technically muted. If you're in a dark situation, you want the light to come back on again, just pop the on and off switch on just once. Don't hold it. If you hold it, then you're going to get it to turn off. Using these up and down arrows here, we can go to different menus here. So you can see it's B channel 5.1, it's lapel number 7, and we're at negative 18 dB, and we got a full range of battery. Let's talk about each one of these here. Negative 18 dB is kind of where you want to start for the audio frequency out that goes to the camera. That's about the good range for us. But if you have a really soft talker, then you might want to switch that up to something a little higher. Remember, negative numbers will go negative 12 next. So to do that, we're going to go to Set. There's the Set button. Click it once. Then go to AF out. So use these up and down arrows. AF out is negative 18. Push the Set button. Push the up arrow. Now we're at negative 12 dB. That will be significantly higher audio going to your camera. So if you have a really soft talker, you can't get them to talk any louder, that's a great way of doing that. Make sure you push the Set button again. It's stored now. Push the on and off button once. It goes back to home. And now when we use our up and down arrows, it says negative 12 dB. But I like to start out at negative 18. So I'm going to go ahead and push Set. I'm going to go AF out, Set, down arrow, negative 18, Set, store it, and now it's stored. Let's push the on and off button once. That's one of the biggest things you do on the receiver going to the camera. This is the one cord here that I just showed you. So that way you can get the right setting here. Okay, as soon as I turn on this microphone, that mute symbol should disappear. So here we go. I'm going to turn it on, hold it for a few seconds. It's still there, and it just went off. The reason why it went off is because you have the microphone turned on now. Now take a look here. You have 2 little bars going up and down. On the left bar is the radio frequency strength. So that's like your wireless communication between the units, and it's pretty darn good here. The right one is the microphone. So I'm tapping the microphone here, and you can see it go up, and that is the audio frequency. So those bars mean something here to help us. If you also look here, like we talked about yesterday, let's get to the frequency number, 542900. I always check that, 542900. Now let's pretend that for some reason these guys got switched around. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to different Oh, let's go to sensitivity on this guy. So this is how you remember the AF out on this guy. I changed it from -18 to -12. Well, look at this guy here. This one's -18 also. So that's kind of helpful. Both of them are -18. But if you have a really soft talker, we can go ahead and push set. Go up one, -15, a little bit different range there. -12. And that's going to give you a whole lot more energy to that microphone and get your audio up if you want to. Okay, but normally time to -18 and live with that, and hopefully it's enough. If you find it's not enough, you can go ahead and reset that here. But now I'm going to go to a different frequency preset and show you what it looks like here. And I'm going to go over and set, and now I'm at 5.2 instead of 5.1. I'll set that. Notice that I'm going to push the on and off button once to get it back to the home button. I'm at 543,600. Take a look over here. I got no radio frequency. It is deader than a doornail because we're on a different frequency setting. So this happens sometimes where the numbers don't match, and we need to get these numbers to match. Here's what's really cool about this. These setup. You see this little window here that I'm pointing to, and there's also a window here that I'm pointing to. We can actually sync these together without having to go through any process of going into the menu system. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the receiver and go to set. I'm going to go to sync. There it is. You see the sync button. I'm going to push set. It's asking me to sync it now. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line up those windows with each other. And you see that check mark happen? Let's do that again. I'm in the sync mode. Line up those windows. Check mark. Now let's push the on and off. I'm at 542,900 again. And let's go over here. Let's check that out. 542,900. Okay, perfect. So that's really nice. All right, on the microphone part, if you happen to push the on and off button, like we've been getting back to the original menu, it's going to ask you, do you want RF mute on? So let's think about that. RF stands for radio frequency. You want the mute to be on. This happens sometimes and you accidentally push set, and now we're muted. Take a look. Even though it's not muted up here at the top, we're also muted here. This happens every once in a while. So the radio frequency, we have no radio frequency. We still have a good radio frequency here, but it's muted between the two, and so we can't hear anything. So push the on and off button again. You want RF mute button off? Yes, we do. Take that off, and the mute button goes off. Okay? Couple things, just make sure you're really careful with this little wire here. This is really weak here and it does get bent, so try not to bend that as much as possible. If you're having a really hard time finding a good frequency, like you just can't figure out, you keep on getting interference, this is really important. So this is like advanced microphone how to. Okay, most of you don't know how to do this, to search for a frequency. Okay, let's say you're having a really hard time finding a good frequency and you don't know where to go. You just want the machine to find it for you, or the microphone to find it for you. Really easy to do. So you want to go to set, find easy setup. There's easy setup. Push set. You'll see current list, push the down arrow. Reset list, push the down arrow. Exit, push the list. Scan new list. So we're trying to find a new list of frequencies that really work well for us here in the setting that you're at. So keep on doing that. An easy setup: current list, reset list, exit, scan new list. Let's go ahead and push set on there, and you can see here this little bar is reaching across here and trying to figure out the best set of channels that have the least amount of interference. Banking is your best bank, and there's 12 free channels on there. So let's go ahead and set that. So now we're in 13.1. Well, that's not even close to being where we are here, remember? So we are on 5.1 here. Okay. So remember, we can sync these. Here's the receiver. Okay. I'll go ahead and set that. It stores it. Make sure you store it first. Now let's go ahead and go up and down. Let's go back out to the home. Just push on and off once. Goes back to the home. Let's push set again just in case you don't want to change it up. Let's go to sync. There we go. I'm in sync. Let's line up the windows. Windows lined up. Check mark. Boom. Push on and off. 13.1. 516000. 13.1. Nope, I don't want RF mute on. 13.1. 516000. So there's a lot of different things in these microphones you probably didn't know that will help you get the best sound possible. Wearing your headphones is number one, and seeing what type of sound you're getting, whether you're getting interference or not, whether you're getting, if they're too soft or too loud. So have fun using these Sennheiser microphones, and then you're ready to mic up your person, hook up this to the camera, hook this up to the person, make sure you do it right, and have fun with the microphones.